Apologies. This is our third quarterly budget report for the year. It's included in your background materials. It's required by policy that we have reports on the progress of the budget each year. It's very typical, but one observation I would make, particularly for M&O, it's fairly snug this year. I mean, I've mentioned before that we wouldn't have the likelihood of a bring-back list from our budget talks in Meet and Confer. It still looks that way, and so I think it's going to be a little bit closer, and the forecast that you have been given is going to be fairly accurate. One bright spot on the Classroom Site Fund page, revenues have picked up a little bit. Classroom Site Funds are funded by a sales tax, and we have been able to increase our teacher pay performance from $1,100 to $1,500 for next year. That was included on the salary schedule, and that's just a calculation that we do each year. Also, I guess kind of on the edge of the subject and having to do for next year, y'all were probably going to talk about it at your legislative portion, but Rich Crandall put out an email today or yesterday and hinted that there could be money for Coral and soft capital, which had kind of seemed possible all along, but he also mentioned monies for early reading intervention. That was in the governor's budget, but apparently they're still quite a ways apart on amount, so we don't know that yet. But it is interesting when the governor and legislators start to mention that kind of stuff. It typically leads to an agreement somewhere within a range. So it could be good news for next year. And the capital was expected, I guess, a little bit more so. But on the capital page, you'll see the unused budget amounts, and those actually carry forward. So pending changes to the funding amounts for next year, if everything were to stay the same, we would have those amounts that remain, plus about $750,000 to fund our capital outlay budgets for next year. So that continues to get tighter, but possibly there's some help on the way. And those are my observations for.
Do we have any idea of what our M&O carry forward will be relative to previous years? We are allowed to carry forward some of that, right?
4% of RCL, yeah. We budget shooting for 3 or 3.5%, and I expect it to fall in that range this year.
Any other questions? Thank you. Okay, our next item, our next section is general. We have our school board advisory second reading and adoption.